Hello, I'm Dr. Margaret. Hello, I'm Dr. Margaret Rogers Van Coops, and I'd like to talk to you about kids killing kids. The reason I want to talk to you about this is because some of you may already know that I was born in 1942 in the midst of bombs dropping from the Germans in London. And as a result of that life, I grew up watching people in fear. I understood the pain and suffering of those who had lost people. I understood the sight of blood. I understood the horror of waking up in the morning to know that my friends had been killed by a bomb, or that my relatives or other people's relatives were missing in action, and so on. And in 1945, when the war finally ended as far as Britain was concerned, we all said this was the war to end all wars. I might add that that was also said during World War I. Apparently, my father heard his family saying, this is the war to end all wars. Then we move on in history. We say we will rebuild the world. We will learn to be in peace and harmony. We will share love and understanding with one another. We will never ever segregate religion, philosophy, theology. We will never dominate one another again. We will build a world of peace. That was a wonderful idea. It still is an amazingly wonderful idea. But what happened to it? Governments across the world decided that various countries had to have various situations that would in some way protect them from something else. You see, the fear of invasion, the fear of death, the fear of loss of family never left us. In fact, it's in our DNA. Throughout history, however far back we go, we see war, we see famine, we see terrible acts, murders, all sorts of things. And we still say we want a world of peace. I have spent my last years focused on teaching as many people as I could throughout the world to understand that love comes through the psyche. It comes through the instinct feeling. It comes through the understanding that when you see someone suffering, you suffer too. You suffer because you empathize and you sympathize and you say this should never happen. And yet, in the blink of an eye, the next day someone could upset you and suddenly you're outraged and you're attacking someone verbally or you're hitting someone. And whatever is happening, you justify, rationalize, explain. And of course, the younger generations watch. So who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to you, parents. I'm speaking to you, the younger generation who are now old enough to be mothers and fathers. I'm telling you, without a shadow of doubt, that your children are a new generation. They're psychics. Their empathetic, sympathetic energy knows that what has happened in the past is history. They know that the way of communications is not of the old style. Our languages have changed. New children have arrived who have different ideas. We are seeing a new strain of mankind in the children whom I call liquid children, liquid crystal children, because they have an extra DNA strand that's working. At 5 years old, they can tell you that they can read the Gospels or they can read an encyclopedia and recite it back to you. Do you not realize that these children are our future? Do you not realize that their abilities are the ways to make new things, if we do not prepare for them, if we do not give them time, effort, energy in understanding that they are super sensitive to every energy that comes on their face, on their body, on their eyes, on their head, on their ears, on every part of them. They feel your fear. They watch movies that are made about fear, murder, disaster, horror things. Why would we want to expose young minds to such terrible things? Why would we want to teach them how to be negative? Why would we want to teach them to be afraid? Why would we want to teach them that there is no choice other than to fight? You might say, what a terrible thing that so many children have died. I will say to you, it's a terrible thing that thousands of children have died around this world in this last year alone, in the Middle East, as well as here and other countries. Why are these children dying? Have you ever stopped to think about that? They're dying to teach us who are older to remember our own pains, our own anxieties, our own worries, and to understand that the way we were brought up was of a different period. It was a time of war. It was a time of pain. It was a time of conquering. It was a time of owning things. It was the Piscean age. But now we're not in that age. We're in the Aquarian age, and the Aquarian age is about communication. We have phones. We have everybody on their phones. We can talk to someone in India, Russia, New York, Timbuktu in Ireland. Yes, it exists. But what do we do with that communication? Just chat about how many ice creams we put on our plate for lunch? Send a picture on Instagram. Hey everyone, here I am eating shrimp. What happened to the seriousness of asking someone, how do you feel today? Why are you upset today? What is going on in your life at home? How do you communicate with your family? I spend a great deal of time counseling mothers and fathers around the world. And in every place that I've been, the common denominator for the children of those people is that the children say, I have no communication with my parents. They do not understand me. They are too busy trying to make money. They are too busy trying to be successful. And in the process of trying to provide that success to us, it destroys us. Because we do not want the money. We want the love. We want the sit down and read me a story, or come and play golf with me, or do something that is new and different for both of us so that we can share a moment of great joy and bliss. These children that are being born today are our future. Do you truly want to train them to be warriors, to fight, to carry guns, to shoot randomly at anything they see, to pick up a knife and just stab and stab no matter what? One of the things that I saw when I was a young mother was one of my sons out there watching an older boy. He'd caught a spider, he'd wrapped it in paper, and he set it on fire. Do you know what I did? I made him feel fear. Why? Because I wanted him to understand what that spider felt. So I came out, I pretended I had a can of petrol, it was water. I said, you are now going to feel what fire feels like. I squirted some water at him. He immediately panicked and started to run. And I yelled at him, you're afraid of water. Do you imagine how that spider felt when it could smell the fumes of gasoline? where did he get the gasoline? That was what I wondered. So I called his mother and I talked to his mother and I said, where? What? She said, I've no idea. I asked her, did you know your son had this streak? She said, no, I had no idea. I'm too busy doing 4 jobs. That was a long time ago. Life hasn't changed. Parents have many jobs, have many things to do, but one can always take time to get on that phone that you so preciously enjoy and say, hey darling, I love you today. How are you doing in school? When they come home from school and you're there, hey, how did you do today? Not get out, get your homework, do this, do that in that tone because you're tired and need to get to bed and you can't hurry up enough to make them hurry up enough to get everything done. Children don't understand what's going on in your mind. They shouldn't understand, but they should know, just like the Victorian period in history, that there is a level of behavior and you do not step over that mark. The level of behavior should be itemized, established, and taught. And every child should know that if someone steps over the mark, if someone is doing the wrong thing, there can be no loyalty to protect that child. One must speak up. My friend is smoking. My friend is doing marijuana or something worse. My friend has a gun. My father, mother, Tom, Dick and Harry have guns. I want you to know in case I ever lose it. Meaning lose my mind. Children don't just plan things. They feel the emotion, the rage, the pain, the suffering of the parents and themselves. It mountains up and mounds up and mounds up until it's so high they can't handle it. They feel there isn't one person who has time for them. There isn't one person who loves them. There isn't one person who understands them. If you're listening to this, I ask you from your soul to my soul, from your soul to a child's soul, from your soul to a parent's soul, to stop and listen. Use your psyche. Feel that person. Feel if they're enraged. Ask them, what's up? And if they turn away, I don't want to talk about it, don't give up. Just say to them, would you like tea? Would you like coffee? Let's have a bun. Let's talk it over. And if they walk away, don't just go, shrug my shoulders, I tried, give up. You go tell someone. You tell someone that this person is hurting and you're worried for them. As a doctor and a therapist and a counselor, I will, without a shadow of doubt, call an authority for someone I know needs that help. And sometimes it takes that. So I'm asking you, as a mother, father, uncle, even a stranger to someone that you see as suffering, that you in some way feel could be so enraged, so hurt, so lost, that they are willing to sacrifice their own life in the process of killing others. But let's step into the overview. Let's step beyond what has happened in Florida. Let's step beyond all these events we look at and say, how do we stop it? Whether it's guns, knives, whether it's poison, whatever it is, lock it up. Don't leave it where everyone can get to it. And if you must have it, ask yourself why. Are you a model of someone who says you're afraid too, so you need it? And you're not strong enough on your own to stand your own ground and believe in yourself? Can you not learn judo or karate or something instead? Can you not channel your children's energy into something creative, intensive, something that will let them let go of their frustration, let go of their anger, something they can do to enjoy their life? And I say to you teachers, Give of yourself. If I had a penny for every person I've helped, I would be a millionaire. I give it out of love. Teachers, don't walk away from your children. Look at yourself. Look at what you are. You are a product. Sorry, I'll say that again. You are a person who was, shall we say, a project of the Piscean age. You were trained. You were told to believe what you believe. You were told to act the way you act. Don't pass it on to these psychic children. It doesn't work. You've got to modernize your attitude. You can't expect a child to just stare at a computer all day. You've got to use your imagination. You've got to inspire them. You've got to have them wanting more. A teacher today must be aware of every child in the class. And the only way you're going to do that is to use your psyche. And your psyche is the empathy and sympathy that you have, that you've acquired through your life. Now, if you don't have any, if you're in your head morning, noon, and night, you will never know a child that's suffering. So I ask you, join a class, meditate, learn psychology, study psychiatry, know the signs, know the symptoms, and understand that you could prevent a disaster. And mothers, fathers, don't be blind to your child. Don't leave their room as a heaven that they can be in all on their own and you never go in. Clean it out. Check it out. Look under the pillows. Look under the bed. Make sure you know that your child is clean. Make sure you know that your child is full of the truth. Conversations will tell you that. So here I am saying to you all, enough's enough. How many times do we need more wars? We don't. How many times do we need more children killing children? We don't. How many more times do we need divorce after divorce? We don't. How many more times do we need babies when we don't want them? Be careful. Teach your children how to protect themselves and protect yourself. And on that note, I say to you, if you think that I have said something valuable today, and if you think that sharing this video will help save parents around the world, and children around the world, and teachers around the world, if you think that sharing this will make people think twice about picking up any weapon, whether it's to go to war or to protect a child, then share it, please. Because this message is to say to everyone on this world, once you were a baby, small, tiny, cute, and everyone said, "Oh, how beautiful. We love you." Know it. Know it in your soul. Know it in your heart. Know that God loves you. Know that the philosophy and theology of all religions teaches you that you are loved. Share that love. Give time to those who need love. Give time to those who feel lost, lonely, miserable, and depressed. And last but not least, recognize that when someone is completely depressed, emotionally lost, they're in hypnosis. And everything that they tell themselves they believe, they justify and they act. We don't want any more people who are negative. We don't want any more people who are hypnotizing themselves to kill. We don't need any more movies showing just what it's like when a head is cut off. We don't need that. What we need are films about how to live life the right way. And on that note, I'll say thank you for listening to me. I really appreciate that you did. Bye for now. Please share this. Thank you.